Ancestry has several new mobile apps and some new widgets that you're going to want to know about. Now, some of this has already been released and some of it's coming soon, so some of it I am demonstrating you may not have just yet. So we're going to talk about all of that here in just a moment. But hey, if this is your first time here, my name is Connie Knox. I am a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further faster and factually with your family history research. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. Genealogy TV has a website, a newsletter, and a Facebook page. Links for all of that are in the show notes below. There is a handout for this episode. If you are at the information access level channel membership, you can click the join button to learn a little bit more about that. And it is now easier to find. All of the handouts have been uploaded to genealogytv.org if you want them individually there. Hey, note that this is not sponsored by anyone. If you like what I do, consider helping support the channel with your channel membership. All right, now, Ancestry has 2.5 million app users. Now, there are two things you need to know about the mobile apps. One is that, well, there is a family history app, and then there is the AncestryDNA app. So those are two different apps, and now there are widgets. And the widgets kind of pull information out of those apps and kind of make them features in bigger fashion. We're going to show you how all of this works here in just a moment. You should also know that these apps and widgets work in both light and dark modes, and they can be found on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon App Stores. You can download them from there. Now, there is a limit on the AncestryDNA app. For the DNA users, there are limited geographical areas, so they may not be available worldwide. The Family History app is available worldwide. We're going to go over to my office here and show you just exactly how those features work. Well, now the really cool part is that you can share with family while you're at a family reunion. You can use the app for research on the go. And you know, anytime somebody just asks you, hey, when was Grandpa born? You could look it up on the app. The other cool part is that you can share this stuff to your social media account right from the mobile app. You can share your family history, and it's quite cool. Now, Ancestry does recommend that you use the mobile app in combination with your desktop computer, but they do realize that for some people, the mobile app is the only option. So there's a couple things you need to know about the Ancestry apps, and then there are widgets. So widgets are kind of new, and here's a quick glance at widgets. They're larger than your typical apps. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just coming down here to the screen so we can keep this nice and simple. You can see I have an Ancestry app and I have a DNA app, an Ancestry DNA app. And now this is on an iPhone. It might be a little different on an Android, but these new widgets and the apps are supported by both iOS, which is the iPhone, and Android devices. So I'm just tapping and holding. And as you can see now, the apps are wiggling. That means I could probably move them around. I can rearrange them, right? There's a plus here in the upper right corner of this. I can hit Add. And now I get a choice of apps to choose that I could add. These are widgets, excuse me. I can choose widgets to add to the screen. Well, down here, beyond these larger typical widgets, I can hit Ancestry. And there are two new widgets. Now, one of them at the time of this recording is available. The other one is coming soon. So this first one here we're going to talk about is events. So we can take this widget, and we actually have a couple choices in size. This is pulling in data from your family tree and just kind of reminding you of events in your family history that are coming up. And you can see different events from your family tree. And if you like whichever view you like, you can then hit Add Widget. And as you can see, it populates nice and big. If you don't like that, you can hit the minus button and remove that widget. If we go back and we scroll back down to the bottom, we say Ancestry, and maybe we want the smaller widget, then we can say Add Widget, and maybe that's the widget that we want, okay? And then if we want the other one, let me show you the other one. I'm going to hit the Add button again, and I'm going to scroll back down to Ancestry. Now the first one was Events, which we just added. There is also Discover. There is the Discover widget. There are two different sizes for the Discover widget. As you can see, there's the larger one and the smaller one. If you want the larger one, you can pick it and hit Add Widget. And now both of them are there. Now in order to get them to stop moving around, actually we could rearrange them if we want to. And then all you do is you hit the button on the bottom of the screen to kind of stop it from being in edit mode. And now you have these two widgets in addition to my other apps that are normally here. So the Discover widget and the Events widget. One of the things you should know that I discovered about the Discovery widget was that before I could get the Discovery widget to work, I had to go into the app and choose this Discovery button at the bottom of the screen just to open it up. And then when I left and I came back and I went to add this Discovery widget, then it worked. It didn't work for me the first time. So that's just something to be mindful of. If you go to add it and it doesn't work, go to the regular app, look at the Discovery button, and then you can get the Discovery widget to work if it's available in your area. Okay, so if we are in the widget mode here, as you can see, I've got the two big widgets here. If you want to edit the Events widget, we hold it down and it'll pop up and it says I can edit the widget. Then I can choose a tree that I want it. So if you have multiple trees, you can choose the tree you want. And now I've got the tree that I want to use for this widget. And then I just hit the, I call it the back button, but you can just undo what you've got, but it's going to pull from your main tree. And you know, whatever your default tree is anyway is probably how it's going to pull. Okay, so as long as you're working with the widgets and the apps, you can get notifications about, you know, what's populating when hints are popping up. And what you can do to determine what notifications you get, you can open the app. Now there are two types of notifications. There is the push notifications, which is kind of a pop-up on your screen, or there's email notifications. You can choose what you want from the app. Click on the More button, and then you drop down to Notifications, Permissions, then Notifications. I'm going to have to blur some of this out because there's some personal information on here. But you can choose either email or push notifications. You can change, like you can turn them off for all of the trees except for your primary tree perhaps. You can decide if you want push notifications or email notifications for DNA tests. There's a lot here that you can choose off and on. You can choose which trees you get notifications about. And so just go through the notifications and make sure that you're getting the information that you want for your family history. Okay, so when using the Discover widget, if you want to edit the Discover widget, you can hold it down and hit Edit Widget. And then you can choose the tree you want. And once you've chosen the tree, then you can hit the back button. And that makes sure that you have the tree that you want discoveries about. And those discoveries basically are hints. Okay, so if you tap on the Discovery widget and we open it up, you have a variety of options here. If you'll notice at the top, it says For You and All Hints. Now, the For You is populating kind of their favorite low-hanging fruit, if you will. So here you've got daily pics, and it's showing a photograph of someone in my tree. And if we scroll to the right, we have several daily pics that we can choose from to look at. Now we can also scroll down and you can pick up where you left off when you were last working on your tree. And there's school yearbooks and they're pulling these in because that is a very popular subject right now in Ancestry, and especially it's a great way to find your ancestors' photographs is in the yearbooks. And it's also pulling in family photos as we continue to scroll down. There are several things here that they are populating in the Discovery app, the Discovery widget. And so I do really like this Discovery widget. I find it to be very helpful. So we can continue to scroll down. There are some other areas here, what to watch, review some stories. So there is a lot going on here on the Discovery widget, but you can also click on All Hints, and that will populate everything that is waiting for you in the world of hints. And then you can also, you could search by, I'm just going to search by Smith because I know that's a common name. There is several people in my tree by the with the last name of Smith, and there are several records here to discover. So you can actually go through the All Hints and search by a name and see if there is any new hints that have popped up for you. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Ancestry app. Okay, so if we go into the Ancestry app, and if we tap on the tree here at the bottom, what it does is it downloads your entire tree to your cell phone so that you can use it offline. So if you're on an airplane, for example, and you have to put your phone on airplane mode or whatever, you can still drill into your ancestors while on the go, and so you will have it now. Ancestry tells us that if the tree is really large, it may take a little bit of time, and be mindful of space, but it is really something. Now, the other cool part about the Ancestry app that I really like is the map feature. And if we click on the map button at the top of the screen, it can show you where some of your ancestors are in the map, right? So as we zoom in, we start to see more and more of our ancestors populating in these areas. So this to me is just way cool. You can then actually pick on somebody. Let's go with this lady, and I can look at her and I can drill into her and I can see her profile. I can see her life story, her sources, her family. I can see the gallery, any notes that I may have made about her. So we can really kind of dig in and just really play here on the mobile app. And then this is what they call a drawer. You can slide that drawer back down, and then I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to go back to the map again. I'm going to close the drawer down so that I can see more ancestors, and you can see that there are several here in this area. And let's take a look at these 13 events, okay, for Martha Ferguson. I can pull that up if I wanted to and take a deeper look at those 13 events. Pull Martha Ferguson up. So those events are going to be in her life story, and we can scroll through and see what's going on with her, and then I can pull that drawer back down. And so, oh, look, I can go sideways from here. I can look at the sources. I can look at the family. So this is kind of cool. They really have improved this mobile app a lot in recent years. This is really cool. So Martha Ferguson here, I'm looking at her profile, and I see she has sources here. And if I tap on the sources, I can then see that she's got a couple census records here. Well, if I tap into the 1870 census, for example, on a mobile phone, this is really hard to see, but you can expand it by opening things up. But here's the cool feature that they've just added. So if we get down in here and we say, we like, to look at this a little bit closer, or we want to see the transcription of this, we can tap into the field, and it highlights the field that it is showing you, but it also shows you the transcription. So then we can say, oh, wait a minute, it says she's 48 years old. Is that right? Well, yeah, that does look like a 48. We can tap around to the different fields, either in the transcription or on the image, and see what the transcription is and the details about it. So that's a huge bonus for the mobile apps. Ancestry has updated some of their AncestryDNA app features as well. You can see your DNA matches. If you touch and hold a DNA match, it will pop up and you can see more details. Now, one of the cool things that they have added here is the ability to group match some of your DNA matches as well. So here I am in my cousin's profile. If I click this circle at the top of the screen, I can add her to more of my groups that I have created. Once I am done, if I want to add her to something like a star, and I can hit done, and then she is now added to that group as well. You can see additional features about her as we scroll left and right here. So make sure that you are attempting to scroll left and right on some of these features, because you never know if there's more hiding under there. Make sure that you scroll all the way down. You can look at your ethnicity estimates right here from the mobile app. There's some really cool stuff that they got going on here. We can learn more about Sweden if we click through. So there's some really cool features also on the AncestryDNA app. On the AncestryDNA app, if you go to the matches at the bottom of the screen and you are looking at your match list, there's a plus symbol at the top of the screen. You can add many people to a group by check marking them and then add them to a specific group. I'm not going to do that, but I could add them to a group. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to do that. But you could add multiple people just by using the little plus button at the bottom of the screen. One thing I do want to show you also is if we tap into a specific person, they are adding, you can't see it in here, but where it says trees and compare ethnicity, they're going to add a shared matches tool here, so that if you're looking at a specific ancestor, you can click on the shared matches tool from here and group match, group add to a specific group right from the mobile phone. I don't have that feature turned on yet. But it's coming, so I just want to let you know about that as well. All right, so I have to say Ancestry really did a good job. They have upgraded the two apps, the Ancestry app and the DNA app, as well as added some of these widgets, the events widget and the discovery widget, which I find, fun and helpful. And you can actually drill in right from some of these new widgets, so that really helps too. Ancestry, good job. Can't wait for the shared matches tool on the DNA. As a reminder, there is a handout for this episode. Now, there are 3 actual convenient ways to find the handout. If you're already a channel member, you can find it in the community tab on the YouTube channel. If you are not a channel member and you would like to become one, it's the best deal. Hit the join button, and for $9.99 a month, you can get the handouts. They are individually available at genealogytv.org. That's the second way you can find it. Or you can go to my Patreon account, and I'll leave a link in the description box below of how you can join through the Patreon account, and it gets emailed directly to you every time I upload a new episode. And well, with channel membership and the Patreon account, you get early access to all the videos and the handouts. All right. Well, there are more videos on the screen for you now for your binge watching pleasure. So as Tigger would say, ta-ta for now.